Does your twin flame have a problem with privacy? Either they won't share anything or they share too much. And this is going to go deep, and it's not your typical twin flame video, so you want to pay attention. And I want to continue the dialogue in the comments, so I really want to know your opinions on the difference between transparency and privacy. And it's the type of honesty where you're clear about things. However, you can share personal details about your life, but also keep some details private. Is that a lie? Are you being dishonest because you're not sharing private, intimate details with the world? No. So I want to tell you, my twin flame Josh doesn't want to be in videos. Not many. He's in a couple. But he doesn't want his personal information out on the internet. He doesn't want me to be like, oh, here's where he works, here's where we live, this is our address, right? And I get that. I mean, that's something that I respect from him. We have a couple photos together, we have a couple videos together, but my twin flame is a chef. That's his life purpose. He's an executive chef. And I am a twin flame ascension coach. So our life purposes aren't identical, but they fit hand in hand together. Guess what kind of food I eat that allows me to have the positive energy to be able to coach people, for example. So I keep a lot of things between me and my twin flame private. You guys don't want to know the ins and outs of our particular fights and arguments, although I will not hide the fact that he and I have arguments. That's natural, right? When you're in a relationship, it's healthy to have conflict and work through it. I think where it bothers some people is when they feel like they can't work through it. Okay, I want to show you what I'm looking at. This is transparency. And I was like, is that a snake? I don't know why. I was like, is that like a cobra? No, it's a stick. So I'm sorry. Just being transparent here. Okay. So that's actually an example of what I want to talk about. Every last detail of what's going on in your mind, some of it's not like private, but it's like information that you don't need to know. If you're on your twin flame journey, you want to know about that stick. I mean, maybe you think it's funny. Maybe it's like a nice little segue, but you don't need to share every last detail, right? When you're conversing with your twin flame, you can share those details, but don't expect them to be like, I think that stick is super cool, if it's your own personal private dialogue with God, right? When you share things, you want to figure out what you want to share and why. Like, you want to have a dialogue with your audience. You need to determine who your audience is. In this case, you guys are my audience. You're people who are on the twin flame journey or curious about the twin flame journey or just learning about the word twin flame, and you want to know how it works. And I can tell you in honesty that I know the path to navigating this challenging relationship. Transparently, I'm not at the top of the mountain. We're walking it. Yeah, I've been doing this for 8 years, right? And if you're new, I'm not saying you're new to the twin flame journey. I'm talking about the path of healing, right? The actual path that will get you from A in separation to B into harmonious union. So I know the path. It's the teachings of union, and it involves practicing a special type of inner work that will resolve your blocks with your twin flame permanently. I have several videos and a whole playlist on it, so I won't go through that in this video. You can check that out. But I wanted to talk more about privacy. So I know some people who don't share any personal details. So that's one of the extremes. I'm not going to share any personal details. I'm not going to talk about what's really going on my twin flame journey. I'm going to lie and pretend that my twin flame asked me to marry him when that's simply not the case. Here's the transparent, honest version. Josh and I have talked about getting married. We are talking about it. Has he proposed? No. He just got a job. He's waiting until he can save some more money. But we're talking about it, and we have never talked about it. At least, I had in the past, but he brought it up, right? Transparent. Another thing. I see a lot of social media influencers talking about how you can get a quick fix to resolve your finances or whatever it is you're trying to resolve. Even twin flame stuff. Like, hey, try this thing and you'll get your twin flame back in 4 weeks. I highly advise you to explore that, because I'll be transparent with you. The twin flame journey is a lifelong journey. And I used to think, oh, there's a magic solution. The mirror exercise is a magic potion that you take, and I should do A plus B equals C in 6 months. And if my twin flame hasn't asked me to marry him after 6 months or unblocked me after 6 months, then this is a sham. Okay? That was my logic. That was my thinking. And I would give up easily. I'd be like, oh, this isn't working, right? But I'll be honest with you. It did work. It worked the instant I tried the mirror exercise. But I was looking in the wrong place for the results. Because it takes everything within you and in your heart that is not producing joy, that is out of alignment from the divine mind, that is out of alignment with harmony, everything that feels bad, your upsets, your limiting beliefs, your fears, all of those. The mirror exercise goes to those places specifically, and it brings love there. And so your instant result is that you feel more confident, more peaceful, more secure, and the list goes on and on. Your feelings, your vibration is changing. And so as your vibration shifts, you're going to feel better and better and better. Little bit by little bit, you're going to manifest situations that will be better in your life. And I want to just show you this really quick. Okay, you see this tree? You see that? It started off as like a little tree, and it grew all the way up here, right? I know, easy example. That didn't happen in 3 days, right? That did not happen in 3 days. A lot of you look at bamboo, and it plants its roots, I don't know, between 3 and 5 years. Go fact check me. It's something like that. And then all of a sudden the bamboo shoots up. So when you're on this journey, and this is something I tell people when they have their first session with me, I say, are you prepared to do the inner work for the rest of your life? Do you acknowledge that this is a lifelong journey and that it will get better as you practice the work, and you will be able to be with your twin flame in person? But I want them to understand that this is a process-based healing modality that is permanent, right? There's a lot of people looking for quick fixes, and that is reinforced by social media, but quick fixes have always been what humans look for, right? We want the easy way. But I want to tell you something. The easy way is this way. And here's why I know that. Because if you don't start to practice this form of inner work, where you actually go to the places where you're hurt, these hurt vibrations that are attracting like experiences that you don't like and reinforcing the hurt vibration. If you feel rejection inside, you're rejecting yourself, your twin flame person's going to reject you, and then that's going to reinforce the rejection, and it's going to go over and over. And I'm not talking about saying affirmation. If you don't do anything to address the inner root, you're going to continue to cycle through these, and that's going to take a really long time. Do you know what I mean? So, I like to relate things to concrete things. Think about diet and exercise, right? A lot of people are trying different strategies, quick fixes to lose a lot of weight all at once. And even people who take GLP-1s, and no judgment here, because I'm exploring my own weight loss journey. But when people go into these processes and think it's permanent, like just by this one quick fix, it's not. It's the step or process that you start. So just like, when you start a new way of life, a different regime, exercise or diet regime, or you're taking GLP-1s, you're going to start to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life. And it's going to feel really good, right? A lot of you look at this like, oh man, I don't want to do inner work. It's loving yourself. It's feeling better. You're basically saying, I don't want to feel better. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The inner work isn't so bad when you have the right tools and support. That's the last thing I want to talk to you about. When you realize this is a lifelong journey, you're going to want somebody walking beside you who can support you. You don't want to face it on your own, right? I have my own coach. I don't know what I would do without my coach. And yeah, I'm the one taking the steps. I'm doing the inner work, but my coach helps me see places I can't see on my own. And every one of us, all of us certified ascension coaches, have our own coach. It's required. Why? We embody this work. So, hope you enjoyed this video on transparency and privacy. There's more to be said. I may have another video coming soon. But what do you think? What are your opinions about what should be shared and what should be kept private? What is transparent and what is private? Thank you so much. See you in my next